Seneca taught us that true happiness is enjoying the present without being anxious about the future. This means not only finding joy now, but also using the present to build respect, character, and inner strength. Let's explore these Stoic strategies together. These are special tactics that can improve our conduct, form our character, and help us earn respect, both from others and ourselves. Let's delve into the wisdom of the Stoics and discover how these 7 strategies can be the key to a life of respect and virtue. Get ready to see how the ancients can teach us to live better today, and how the ideas of the Stoics are still important in our modern lives. By applying these practices, you will find a new way of looking at life, more aligned with your values and richer in meaning and purpose. Before we begin, I would like you to like the video so you can help me continue spreading the Stoic philosophy. If you are not subscribed, I recommend that you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Strategy number 1. Integrity in action. Integrity in actions is the essence of Stoicism, giving life to the principle that only virtue is sufficient for happiness. This Stoic virtue is not an abstract idea, but a living force that shapes every aspect of a Stoic's life. In daily choices and important decisions, integrity in action stands out as a symbol of a life guided by reason and virtue. Epictetus taught us, "Don't explain your philosophy, live it." This means that our values must show themselves not just in our thoughts, but in our every action and reaction. In everyday interactions, integrity in actions appears in many ways. At work, she can be seen when someone refuses to participate in gossip or power plays. It is the employee who, when faced with a conflict of interest, reveals it even if it could cause problems. It is the manager who gives credit where credit is due, even when he could easily accept praise for the work of others. In these situations, the Stoics' actions are guided by an internal compass tuned to integrity. They know that every decision shows their character and that every action is part of the story of their lives, written for themselves. As Marcus Aurelius said in his Meditations, a person's true value is to be found in their actions and not in external things. Living with integrity means that a Stoic must often go against popular opinion or quick gains. This involves making choices that align with virtue, even when those choices are difficult or lead to loneliness or criticism. Stoics understand that integrity often requires sacrifice, and they are willing to pay that price, not for some external reward, but because they value their self-respect above all else. Furthermore, integrity in actions means being resilient in the face of adversity. It's maintaining a moral stance even when everything around you seems wrong. In situations where dishonesty seems to win and shortcuts seem to lead to success, the Stoic stands firm. They understand, as Seneca wrote, that a person's worth is measured by the value of what they value. And what is the reward for this steadfastness in integrity? It's respect, the kind that is earned, not demanded, sense, not fake. This respect reflects the true nature of a person's character, solid and unquestionable. In a society often fixated on the end justifying the means, the Stoic's means are his end. Every action, every choice, every word spoken must be imbued with integrity. For the Stoic, integrity is both the path and the destination. This essential value is not just an ideal to aspire to, but a daily practice, a way of being that permeates all spheres of life. Thus, integrity in action is not just a Stoic principle to be discussed. It is a philosophy to be lived every moment with every breath. Integrity transcends the pages of ancient texts and becomes the script by which a Stoic structures his life. It is the silent and constant guide that guides your decisions and shapes your character. Imagine a river that follows its natural course, always flowing towards the ocean without deviating from its path, regardless of the obstacles it encounters. Likewise, a Stoic's integrity flows continually, facing and overcoming challenges without compromising their principles. Ultimately, it is the purest form of respect one can hope to achieve. The respect that comes from a life lived in accordance with one's deepest Stoic convictions, principles, and virtues. This respect is not ephemeral, based on external successes or superficial recognition. It is lasting, born of genuine admiration for the consistency and authenticity of those who live a life of integrity. This dedication to integrity creates a deep and lasting impact. People around notice this silent strength and are inspired by it. It is like a constant flame that, even in the midst of storms, continues to shine, offering warmth and light to those around it. This glow of integrity not only illuminates the Stoic's own path, but also serves as a beacon to others, showing that it is possible to live a life of virtue and respect, even in a world filled with commitments and pressures. Therefore, living with integrity is more than following rules or adhering to a philosophy. It is a constant dance with life, where each step is taken with awareness and each movement is made with authenticity. It is a journey in which the means are valued as much as the ends, and where each moment is an opportunity to reaffirm one's values and strengthen one's character. This commitment to integrity is what transforms Stoic philosophy into an art of living, where true happiness and inner peace are achieved not through external achievements, but through coherence between what we think, say, and do. Thus, integrity becomes not only a path to respect for others, but also for respect for oneself, creating a life of purpose and meaning that resonates deeply with the essence of the human condition. Strategy number 2, live virtuously. Living virtuously is like building a strong foundation for the Stoics. It is the center of everything they teach and the focal point of their lives. For the Stoics, virtue is not something complicated, but it is like a map to live well. It's like being very good at 4 important things: being wise, courageous, fair, and moderate. As Seneca beautifully said, virtue is just doing the right things. Living virtuously is like using a compass to make good choices, even if they are difficult. This means that we don't do what is easy or fun, but what is right. Wisdom helps us choose what is right over what is easier. Courage helps us do this even when we are afraid, and temperance helps us do it with balance and control. Living virtuously appears in many decisions we make every day. It is in the honesty of a businessman who does his business clearly, in the courage of someone who reports something wrong even at risk, and in the justice of a leader who defends those in need. It is also in the moderation of those who control their desires, knowing that discipline is important to be free. Stoicism reminds us that living virtuously is an internal and external journey. Being happy is within us, said Marco Aurelio, showing that being good is linked to our internal peace and happiness. This means that we must always try to do what is right, even without gaining anything in return. Living virtuously also means understanding that our actions affect other people and the world around us. It's knowing that our choices have consequences and that we should care about the good of everyone. This shows that our good is linked to the good of others. For the Stoics, true wealth is in being good. What is more valuable than living a good life? What lasts longer than being respected for being honest? Being good is a reward in itself, giving a deep sense of happiness that is better than any fleeting pleasure other people might seek. Living virtuously is like fashioning a work of art, with every thought, word, and action contributing to the final picture of who we are. It is like carving a statue, carefully carving out the details of our character, to reflect the beauty and moral excellence we seek to achieve. On this journey, we are challenged to transcend our baser impulses, rising above the temptations of selfishness and instant gratification. This quest for virtue is not an easy road, but it is one worth traveling. As we commit to this ongoing pursuit of moral excellence, we find a sense of purpose and fulfillment that cannot be obtained any other way. We discover that true respect from others arises not just from our external accomplishments, but from the integrity and consistency of our character. As we strive to live up to the highest ethical standards, we become living examples of dignity and righteousness. We are like beacons of light in a world often obscured by the darkness of dishonesty and corruption. And even when we face challenges and adversity, we remain steadfast in our principles, knowing that our integrity is an unshakable fortress that no adverse wind can overturn. In the end, by living a virtuous life, we leave a lasting legacy that transcends time. Our actions and choices echo through the ages, inspiring others to follow our example and walk the path of moral excellence. Thus, our journey towards virtue not only enriches us individually, but also leaves an indelible mark on the history of humanity. Strategy number 3, cultivate empathy. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is not always seen as a Stoic virtue. But the Stoics knew how important empathy was for connecting with the community and practicing justice. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, said that kindness is humanity's greatest pleasure, showing that empathy is not just feeling for others, but actively getting involved in their well-being. For Stoics, empathy is realizing that all humans make mistakes, face difficulties, and deserve understanding and compassion. Having empathy does not mean being emotionally indulgent, but rationally recognizing what unites us as human beings. For example, showing patience with a new colleague who is learning or understanding a friend who is suffering. Think about the leader who understands the challenges of each team member. This leader is not just managing, but leading with empathy, realizing that each person has something valuable to contribute. With empathy, this leader can help the team use their strengths and overcome challenges, guiding them with care and attention. Having empathy also means getting more involved with the community. It's like an entrepreneur who creates solutions, not just to make money, but to help people. Or a citizen who listens to the opinions of others, understanding that behind different beliefs, there are common fears and hopes. Stoicism teaches that empathy must be guided by wisdom. It's not about carrying other people's problems, but about offering the right amount of support and understanding to help with growth and resilience. Seneca said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for goodness." It reminds us that empathy is always within our reach and can be practiced in every interaction. By practicing empathy, Stoics go beyond simply understanding the emotions of others. They delve deeply into the human experience, recognizing that we all face similar struggles on our journey. It's like looking into the face of a stranger and seeing in it not just a stranger, but a reflection of ourselves with similar dreams, fears, and hopes. By adopting this perspective, the Stoics build bridges across the chasms of difference, uniting hearts and minds in a spirit of understanding and solidarity. Empathy is like a patchwork quilt, weaving individual stories into a collective tapestry of humanity. She reminds us that despite our diverse backgrounds and experiences, we all share the same journey in this world. This awareness drives us to act with kindness and compassion, recognizing that the suffering of one is the suffering of all, and the joy of one is the joy of all. Cultivating empathy is not just a gesture of benevolence, it is an act of self-transformation. By reaching out to others in times of need, we discover a source of strength and kindness within ourselves that we may never have known. It's like lighting a flame inside the heart, illuminating not only the path of others, but also our own. Thus, empathy becomes the fabric that binds the social fabric together, strengthening the bonds that unite us as members of a global community. It is a powerful force that can break down barriers, overcome prejudices, and build bridges between different cultures and traditions. In an increasingly interconnected world, empathy becomes a universal currency, a language that everyone can understand and appreciate. By practicing empathy, we not only uplift others but also ourselves. We discover a deep sense of gratification and purpose in making other people's lives a little brighter and more meaningful. Ultimately, empathy reminds us that we are all part of the same human family, sharing this planet as our common home. And by acting with empathy, we plant the seeds of a more compassionate and harmonious world for future generations. Strategy number 4, mastery of perception. The ancient Stoics knew that life is not defined by what happens to us, but by how we choose to view those events. It's not about pretending that the bad parts of life are good. It's about seeing each event as a rough stone that can be transformed into something valuable. Imagine you are giving a presentation at work. You prepared a lot, you practiced a lot, but when the time comes, the technology fails. The slides don't work, the videos don't play, and you're there, in front of everyone, feeling the pressure. At this moment, your perception is like an alchemist's tool. You can see this as a disaster or as a chance to show your ability to adapt and communicate under pressure. If you choose the second option, you take a deep breath and maybe make a joke about technology, making everyone laugh. Then, you continue the presentation without the slides, speaking directly to the people. You are not ignoring the problem, you are overcoming it. Afterwards, people remember how well you handled the situation. They respect you not for your perfect presentation, but for your incredible response to imperfection. This is the realm of perception in action. It is the process of transformation that turns obstacles into steps. It's not about denying the negative, but about harnessing it as a catalyst for personal excellence. By applying this strategy to various facets of life, you create a reputation not as a person who never faces challenges, but as someone who remains steadfast in the midst of them. Imagine a scenario where you encounter a problem at work. Instead of letting yourself get down, you see the situation as an opportunity to demonstrate your skills and resilience. This does not go unnoticed. Colleagues and superiors begin to notice your ability to remain calm and find creative solutions under pressure. This non-explicit confidence, this silent dominance, naturally earns him respect. People see you not just as someone who faces difficulties, but as someone who overcomes them with firm determination and pragmatic optimism. Embrace this principle, and you will become a beacon of resilience, admired and trusted not for the absence of problems in your life, but for the tenacity and ingenuity with which you face them. Think about a time when a personal adversity seemed insurmountable, and over time, you were able to overcome it. These stories of overcoming are those that inspire and elevate those around them, showing that it is possible to transform difficulties into achievements. This is the power of perception, a Stoic tool as vital today as it was in the marble forums of ancient Greece. By cultivating this skill, you not only improve your personal and professional life, but you also become a living example of how perspective can change everything. With this mindset, every obstacle becomes a chance for growth and every challenge an opportunity to show true inner strength. But there is a catch. If you've been trying for a long time to get out of conformity and ignorance and you can't do it in any way, maybe it's for other reasons that you don't know what's causing this. But I know what it is. It's anxiety. Anxiety comes like a silent snake and poisons you without you feeling it. This leaves you infected for days, months, and even years. And if you have that, it would be like living sick. However, there is an antidote from the Stoics, which together with modern psychology can free you from all this, just as it freed me. I made a video showing how you can get rid of this poison in your life. It's in the first comment. Click on the link in the first comment and cure yourself of this poison of anxiety. Strategy number 5. The elegance of simplicity. The beauty of simplicity, an important idea for the Stoics, highlights the value of living a life without being burdened by things we don't need, and without being tempted by the desire to consume what is unnecessary. Epictetus advised, "True wealth is not in having many things, but in needing little." He is not telling us to be too simple, but he invites us to find richness in the modest and joy in the essential. When we embrace simplicity, we choose not to get carried away by the clutter that often dominates our physical and mental spaces. It's valuing what's really important instead of having many things. It's seeking experiences that are good for us instead of having many objects. Simplicity is living with less, carefully choosing everything we have and finding meaning in everything we do. Think about how this applies to daily life. This might mean tidying up where we work so we can concentrate better. In terms of money, it can mean spending our money on things that bring us joy and not just accumulating things. In relationships, simplicity encourages us to have fewer friends, but to have deeper relationships rather than trying to please everyone. Stoics see beauty in simplicity, not only in the things around us, but also in our actions and thoughts. It's a conscious choice to simplify our lives, letting go of what doesn't matter and focusing on what really is important. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You need very little to be happy. Everything you need is within you, in the way you think." This means simplifying our desires and finding contentment in ourselves. Simplicity in Stoicism also helps us to be stronger in the face of life's changes. A person who lives a simple and straightforward life is more prepared to adapt to changes. She finds her happiness within herself, not depending on what is temporary or external, but on what is stable and internal. Living simply means eliminating what is not important so that what is truly essential can stand out. It's about being moderate in a world full of excess and finding peace in the midst of distraction. The beauty of simplicity lies in its ability to strip away layers of excess, revealing the pure and true essence of each moment. It is like removing the curtains that obscure the window of the soul, allowing the light of serenity and clarity to flood our being. The Stoics understood that it is often in the simplest and most unpretentious moments that we find the greatest richness in life. By embracing the elegance of simplicity, we make room for true abundance in our lives. It's not just about eliminating material excess, but also about letting go of trivial concerns that distract us from what really matters. It's like letting go of the unnecessary baggage that weighs on our shoulders, allowing us to travel lighter and freer along life's journey. Furthermore, simplicity is not just an aesthetic choice, it is a philosophy of life that frees us from the constraints of the incessant search for more. In modern society, we are often inundated with messages that tell us that we need more things, more achievements, more recognition to be happy. Yet the Stoics remind us that true happiness lies in appreciating what we already have, in gratitude for the simple, precious moments that make up the tapestry of our lives. By simplifying our lives, we make room for what really matters: meaningful connections, moments of serenity and genuine joy. It's like returning to the roots of human existence, rediscovering the beauty in simple, everyday things that often go unnoticed. Ultimately, cultivating the elegance of simplicity is more than a matter of aesthetics or organization. It is a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. By stripping ourselves of the superfluous, we connect more deeply with our inner essence and the world around us. It is in this space of simplicity and clarity that we find true peace and fulfillment, aligning our lives with the eternal principles of Stoic wisdom. Strategy number 6: embrace control and choice. In our journey with the ideas of the Stoics, we find the point where control and choice meet. The Stoic teacher Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we react to them." These words are not just an encouragement, they are an invitation to freedom. Understanding control and choice is knowing that although the world turns, our reactions are ours to decide. Let's see this with a common example. You receive an unexpected review from your manager that is not good at all. In this difficult time, Stoic wisdom lights your path. You cannot control criticism, nor can you erase it, but you have the great power to choose your response. The natural reaction is to defend yourself or get angry, but Stoicism invites us to make a different choice. Maybe, at that moment, you will decide to really listen. You let each word sink in, not as an accusation of failure, but as a guide to growth. You ask questions to understand better, and then choose to use that feedback to become a better version of yourself at work. The people around you notice this choice. You are not just one of the crowd, you demonstrate maturity and initiative. That's what people respect. Not someone immune to mistakes, but someone brave enough to learn from them and become better. When you apply this principle to life in general, it becomes transformative. Imagine being stuck in traffic and being late. You can't control the red lights or the pace of the cars in front of you, but you can control your own reaction. So you choose. Choose to listen to a podcast or audiobook, or use the time to mentally plan your day. You do not arrive at your destination stressed, but with an enriched or prepared mind. This is the power of choice. It is these decisions, taken discreetly, that earn respect. People see someone who is not a victim of life's unpredictable ups and downs, but who deliberately adjusts their sails, using those winds to move forward. This ability to face adversity with resilience and serenity is not innate. It is cultivated and improved with each challenge overcome. Think of a sculptor fashioning a masterpiece from a block of rough marble. Each strike of the chisel, each precise movement, reveals the shape hidden within the stone. Likewise, each challenge we face and overcome shapes our capacity for resilience and emotional mastery, sculpting our character with precision and care. This capacity for continuous transformation is the key to earning true respect. It is not the absence of difficulties that inspires admiration, but the way we deal with them. When life inevitably throws its curveballs, remember the words of Epictetus. It is not things that trouble us, but our interpretation of them. This teaching underlines that control and choice are your inherent Stoic powers. They represent the silent strength that can weather any storm, not through brute strength, but through the sheer elegance of intention and will. Imagine a ship sailing through stormy waters. While other vessels are tossed from side to side, our Stoic ship maintains a steady course, guided by a captain who understands he cannot control the sea, but he can control his own reactions and actions. The crew, seeing this steadfastness and clarity of purpose, not only respects the captain, but also gains courage and determination to face the storm. Living like a Stoic means cultivating this quiet inner strength, which naturally commands respect from those who witness it. It is the serene presence in the midst of chaos, the calm voice in the storm, the guiding light in the darkness. When you demonstrate control over your reactions and choices, you send a powerful message. True strength comes from within, and anyone can develop it with practice and determination. Therefore, when facing life's challenges, remember that each difficult situation is an opportunity to strengthen this skill. Every storm is a chance to show the elegance of your intention and the steadfastness of your will. And by living this way, you not only improve your own life, but you also become a shining example for others, showing them the path to true strength and respect. The ability to transform obstacles into stepping stones and adversities into opportunities for growth is not just a Stoic virtue. It is a beacon that guides our actions and decisions. This ongoing process of growth and adaptation not only lifts our own spirits, but also inspires those around us. By demonstrating that it is possible to maintain calm and clarity in the midst of chaos, you become a beacon of resilience, someone others can look up to and find strength. This is the essence of living like a Stoic, a life of deliberate intention marked by quiet strength and elegance of will that naturally earns the respect and admiration of all who are fortunate enough to witness it. Strategy number 7, the serenity of acceptance. The calm of acceptance is like a fortress for Stoics against life's unpredictable challenges. It's understanding that we can't change everything that happens around us, but we can choose how to react to these things. Marco Aurelio wrote, "Accept what destiny has in store for you," showing that peace comes from accepting what we cannot control. Accepting is not giving up, but it is acting actively and strongly in the face of the challenges that arise. When something bad happens, Stoics don't waste time complaining. They understand that complaining does not change the situation. It's like facing a storm. As much as we want it to pass, we can't control the weather. Finding serenity means maintaining inner calm, even in the face of adversity. In everyday life, this acceptance can be crucial. For example, a doctor who has done everything in his power for a patient needs to accept the result, even if it is not ideal. Likewise, an athlete who loses a competition needs to accept that there are things beyond their control, such as the weather or the opponent's performance. These situations illustrate that accepting things as they are does not mean giving up or failing to do our best. Rather, it's about recognizing the limits of what we can control and focusing our energy on what is within our reach. It is a mindset of resilience, where we face challenges with determination and courage, regardless of the end result. Thus, instead of wasting energy lamenting what we cannot change, the Stoics teach us to direct our efforts towards what we can influence, always seeking our best, even in the face of adverse circumstances. Seneca reminds us, "He who has courage is free." Being courageous for the Stoics means accepting the things we cannot change and not fighting the inevitable. Acceptance also makes us stronger. It helps us deal with sadness, pain, and life's challenges, not with resignation, but with the understanding that these things are part of life. Stoics use acceptance to maintain inner peace, even when the world around them is in chaos. They find serenity not in perfect situations, but in how they deal with the situations they encounter. The serenity of acceptance is like finding a safe haven in the midst of the storm of life. It is embracing reality with serenity, recognizing that, although not everything can be changed, there is always room for personal growth and constructive action. Imagine yourself as a skilled navigator, navigating the waters of existence with confidence and dexterity, adjusting your boat's sails as needed to meet the challenges of the sea. This acceptance is not passive resignation. It is a conscious choice to direct our energy where it can be most effective. Just as a master craftsman molds clay to create a work of art, we shape our lives with skill and discernment, accepting what we cannot change and acting decisively on what is within our power. When we embrace this serenity of acceptance, we find a deep peace that permeates all areas of our lives. Our heart becomes a peaceful place, free from the disturbances of resistance and the struggle against the inevitable. Instead, We become like a firm tree, rooted in the land of acceptance, yet flexible enough to bend before the strongest gusts of wind. This ability to accept what we cannot change frees us from the anchor of suffering and allows us to flow with the current of life. We are no longer fighting the tides, but sailing with them, confident that we are exactly where we need to be. Therefore, by cultivating the serenity of acceptance, we are empowering ourselves to live with authenticity and integrity. We are choosing the path of wisdom and inner strength, navigating with grace and courage through the uncertain waters of existence.